Tonight, we'll tell you which two professors in Oswego are receiving a special honor.
And how Hochul is continuing her efforts to raise vaccine rates across New York.
Also, now that voting has ensued in Oswego County, we've been keeping up with the local polling sites from this evening.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Lane Russell.
And I'm Melanie Higgins.
It's an off-year election and voters around the nation are turning out for local and state voting sites. This all as Virginia and New Jersey vote for governor, and Boston and New York City have major races that are set to make history.
Election Day in the U.S. The results of these off-year races potentially providing roadmaps to the 2022 midterms and the 2024 presidential contest. In Virginia, national focus on a statewide race. Former Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe seeking the office again.
And I'm running again. I got big, bold plans of where I want to take this state. Really nice to see you.
But is facing a tight contest against Republican business executive Glenn Youngkin.
I've just felt this great surge of momentum for the last 6 to 8 weeks.
In New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy aims for a second term, but it's been more than 40 years since a Democratic incumbent governor won re-election there.
What we've been doing for the past 4 years is working, and that folks want to see more of it.
Other races include mayoral elections in some of America's biggest cities. In New York City, Brooklyn Borough President and former police captain Eric Adams is widely seen as the frontrunner. And in Boston, history will be made with either Michelle Wu or Anissa Esaibi George becoming the city's first woman and person of color to be elected.
I'm a mom with kids in our schools. I live in a multi-generational home. I've been in City Hall for 10 years now, seeing just how much power we have when city government steps up and connects with our communities.
Eyes also on Minneapolis as voters face a referendum on police reform following the May 2020 murder of George Floyd. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
Racers are popping up all over regions of New York. This includes Buffalo, but more locally, Oswego County is holding a legislative race. With over 50 polling sites around Oswego County, the big legislative race for the county's 25 districts have local voters gearing up with signs in support of their nominees. SUNY Oswego is surrounded by about 20 of these sites, including both in the town and city of Oswego. They opened at 6 this morning and closed just a few moments ago.
About a year now after the big presidential election of 2020, Oswego County has since been dominated by the Republican Party. Results are expected to start coming in around 10 tonight, but officials are concerned about low voter turnout with this not being as large of a race. While we will be following this closely as we get results within the hour, we spoke to poll workers at Laker Hall who said they only received one voter the whole night.
It's honestly important to vote every year because democracy, and not every country gets to have a say in their elected representatives. So I feel like young people should appreciate that a little bit more.
Poll workers have been encouraging young voters to get out and vote no matter what the race is for, but it has been a struggle.
The Oswego County Salvation Army will be serving a traditional Thanksgiving dinner on Wednesday, November 24th from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. in honor of helping out within the community. Contributions for the dinner from the public are welcome and can be dropped off at the Salvation Army on West 2nd Street by November 22nd.
SUNY Oswego's SEFA campaign is holding its inaugural talent showcase on Wednesday, November 10th from 4:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Curtis Manor in Oswego. This fundraiser aims to support the healing experiences of those with life-altering experiences while also giving an opportunity for students and faculty to showcase their talents. All of this to support the cause.
This year's 2021 President's Award for Excellence in Academic Advising has been awarded to both Lindsay McCluskey of Communication Studies as well as Casey Raymond of the Oswego Chemistry Department. This honor is given each year to two trusted counselors who aid students in the development of their academic and life goals. Former students have taken the liberty of nominating the two recipients, each saying these advisors have since helped them in gaining their bachelor's degrees.
And in New York City, several vaccine mandates have posed challenges for those in the workforce. That mandate deadline has since passed as of yesterday. Now, several NYPD officers are on unpaid leave as a result. The number has now reached 34 officers in total, and several dozen more are awaiting the status of their religious exemption passes. As of right now, city officials are saying that about 85% of the police force is vaccinated.
Governor Kathy Hochul announced a new incentive for New Yorkers to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Anyone who gets their first shot at the Barclays Center will receive 2 free tickets to future events that are held at the arena. Hochul made the announcement during an event aimed at encouraging children ages 5 to 11 to get the vaccine now that it has been approved. The Barclays Center is home to the Brooklyn Nets and New York Liberty basketball teams.
Governor Hochul is also taking action against hate symbols in New York municipal corporations. Hochul signed legislation prohibiting the display of hate symbols at municipal corporations such as fire and police departments. This ban comes after a Long Island fire truck and a Nassau County Fire Department both displayed Confederate flags last year. In this ban, symbols can include anything from neo-Nazi ideology to white supremacy symbols and the Confederate flag too.
Coming up later tonight, the CDC made a final stride in the decision allowing kids ages 5 to 11 to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
And how Biden has been spending his time overseas.
But winter is coming and the snow is almost here. The first winter weather advisories have been issued for the season and will last from 8 p.m. tonight until 11 a.m. on Wednesday in northwestern Oneida, Oswego, and Lewis counties.
Officials say overnight tonight, as temperatures drop, lake effect rain will likely turn into lake effect snow and could accumulate several inches on the Tug Hill. Residents living near the Lake Ontario shoreline are expected to see more mild conditions, but chances for snow accumulation is unlikely.
Our Storm 10 meteorologists have been tracking what snow is supposed to come. Now let's take a quick look with weather with Taylor Haggerty.
Thanks, guys. So as we have said, we do have a winter weather advisory starting tonight at 8 p.m. going until 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. I will have your scrape cast coming up to tell you guys if you need to warm up your cars in the morning before you leave for that work travel. We also have a chance of rain and snow until Friday evening. Most likely more rain than snow, excuse me. And we also can see slightly warmer temperatures coming into this weekend, but cooling off during next week. Stay tuned for more weather with me after the break.
I'm a lot more confident and a lot more sure of my abilities.
At Oswego is where I really found myself and became the person I am. You work hard and you play hard. I love the environment of City Oswego.
Made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Taylor Haggerty with your weather. Tonight we do have a winter weather advisory from 8 p.m. all the way to 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. We do have a chance of rain and snow until Friday evening, focusing more on the rain than the snow in our area, and our temperatures will be warming up this weekend. Let's take a look at the temperatures outside right now. So we can see over in Oswego, it is about 45 degrees. It's a little warmer than it should be to snow. So I don't think that it is going to snow tonight. It could be a possibility as well, though. Looking at tonight's forecast, we do have a possibility of thunderstorms. That was actually predicted to be about 8 o'clock tonight, so it could possibly be over already. We will have showers likely tonight with 36 degrees with winds west 9 to 15 miles per hour. And looking at our scrape cast for tomorrow morning, you definitely should try to warm up your car. We could have a quick frost in the morning. A quick scrape should be all that you need. And looking at Wednesday's planner, at 9 a.m. you can expect a possible rain-snow mix at 36 degrees with winds west at 5 miles per hour. By noon, those winds are going to shift to about northwest at 6, and you can expect a little bit of a showers. Temperatures are raising up to the mid-40s, and by 3 p.m., mostly cloudy. You might still have some showers, 44 degrees, and winds still northwest at 8 miles per hour. Looking at our 7-day forecast, Wednesday, tomorrow, you can expect showers most of the day. It shouldn't see a lot of snow at all, a high of 45 with a low of 34. Thursday, you can expect partly cloudy skies. More rain than snow, even though we're forecasting some snow. It's not going to be in our area, should be around the Tug Hill area. 46 degrees, getting up close to the 50s with a low of 36. Friday, mostly cloudy skies. More sun than clouds though. It's not going to be that much of a precipitation day. On Saturday, you can expect it to be mostly sunny as well. Temperatures for Saturday and Sunday into the 50s. Monday and Tuesday as well into the 50s. Stay tuned for more news and sports after the break.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day. Okay. It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Total, Baldwin faces 32 charges.
Saturday, I went to Woodchuck Saloon.
Too much temperature change.
1310 meteorologist.
2 as well.
Visions from Tanner Spring.
Go to 2 and 1.
10 with 6 and 10 on the year.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. The COVID-19 vaccine mandate in New York City is causing some tensions to rise. It's also causing problems with the trash collection in parts of the Big Apple. Some sanitation workers don't agree with the mandate. Kimberly Richardson reports.
This is what catch-up looks like, a steady stream of trucks pulling into this sanitation garage on Staten Island. On a good week here in the city, crews pick up roughly 12,000 tons of trash each day in residential areas. Well, this was a bad week. Garbage piled up, the city admitting it did experience a, quote, gap in service as the clock ticked down to today's deadline to get a COVID vaccine. Sunday evening, this is what it looked like in Gramercy Park minutes before crews who normally have the day off scooped up the mess.
We're continuing to make up the backlog service. We believe we will be day on day, meaning Monday material only, at some point today.
To date, the sanitation department says 83% of its employees are vaccinated. Those who aren't, some gathered in protest outside of that same facility on Richmond Avenue, where their co-workers are playing catch up.
We're being forced to do something against our will.
Michael has been on the job 17 years and for the first time is now on unpaid leave, along with thousands of other city employees who refuse to comply with the mandate.
Now I'm scared because I'm going to lose a job that I love more than anything. This job put food on my table, on my family's table.
There is support for these workers. Nancy is in banking, also insists she's not getting vaccinated.
I'm a survivor of domestic violence. And 8 years ago, I took back my freedom to leave my abuser. and they're not going to take my freedom of choice. I won't.
There was a confrontation between Staten Island police and anti-vaccine protesters at Monday's protest.
And despite the resistance of the vaccine from some COVID-19, vaccination rates are climbing. The U.S. Centers for Disease and Control and Prevention published new vaccination data saying the number of Americans who got their first COVID-19 vaccine who are fully vaccinated and those who got the booster are all increasing. More than 58% of the total U.S. population is now fully vaccinated, which is about 192 million people. More than 10% of those, or nearly 20 million people, have received a booster shot so far, and the number of people getting their first shot has increased for 4 consecutive days since hitting an all-time low in October.
Well, now even more Americans are able to get their vaccine as the CDC has approved COVID-19 vaccines for children ages 5 to 11 today. The decision came after a unanimous vote from the CDC's advising panel, and Pfizer has already begun shipping doses of the vaccine across the country. The vaccine for children is a smaller dose than those that are given to adults, but still requires 2 doses. Appointments are expected to begin this week.
And with Pfizer being the leading company in vaccines for children, they are seeing this revenue and profits skyrocket. According to the company, its earnings and sales more than doubled in the past quarter. The increase, of course, is mostly thanks to the pharmaceutical giant's COVID vaccine. Pfizer reported adjusted earnings of about $7.7 billion, up 13.3% from earlier this year. Revenue was $24.1 billion, and the company's total vaccine revenue being $14.6 billion, representing more than 60% of total sales. A year earlier, vaccine revenue was just $1.7 billion. Pfizer now adjusting its full year lookout. Expected revenue for the year to hit between $81 and $82 billion.
Some grim news around the world today is the number of people who have died from the COVID-19 worldwide has just surpassed 5 million people. The global tally of deaths from Johns Hopkins University now at 5,425. The highest toll in the world is in the U.S., more than 766,000, followed by Brazil and then India.
And a pivotal moment for the President Biden on the world stage as he works to slow global warming. Mr. Biden is in Scotland for most important climate talks in years, while lawmakers in the U.S. come closer to making his visions a reality. Caitlin Collins has the details.
President Biden issuing an urgent call for action.
We meet with the eyes of history upon us.
At the biggest global climate summit in years, the president warning the planet is in peril and the world is at an inflection point.
Will we act? Will we do what is necessary? Will we seize the enormous opportunity before us?
Biden pledging the U.S. will take the lead on combating climate change as his own climate ambitions face critical tests at home and abroad.
My administration is working overtime to show that our climate commitment is action, not words.
Biden promising the U.S. will keep its word and apologizing after his predecessor withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accords.
I guess I shouldn't apologize, but I do apologize for the fact the United States, the last administration, pulled out of the Paris Accords and put us sort of behind the 8 ball.
The president touting his own plan to reduce emissions that's still awaiting passage by Democrats in Washington.
My Build Back Better framework will make historic investments in clean energy.
While the president's top aides plan to show a force at the Global Climate Summit in Glasgow, there were some notable no-shows, including China, the world's biggest polluter, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. Biden calling their absence a disappointment.
Not only Russia, but China basically didn't show up in terms of any commitments to deal with climate change. And there's a reason why people should be disappointed in that. I found it disappointing myself.
But today, Biden declined to call out China directly and instead called for global cooperation.
None of us can escape the worst that's yet to come. There's no more time to hang back or sit on the fence or argue amongst ourselves.
The United Nations Climate Change Conference will continue to tackle global warming issues for another 2 weeks. Participating countries will come up with a more aggressive plan to cut greenhouse gases to meet that global warming target set at the Paris Climate Agreement in 2015.
Coming up in sports, we have Thomas Tollerino.
Thomas, can you give us a quick preview of the sports?
Thank you, guys.
We have Game 6 of the World Series happening right now, and we took a look at the big-time playoff game for the Lakers tomorrow afternoon. All this and more after the break.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Our son Arjun was born with cystic fibrosis. CF is a genetic disease that shortens lives. When the foundation was founded in 1955, children with CF rarely live long enough to attend kindergarten. Today, thanks to the foundation's groundbreaking research, advocacy, and care, some people with CF are attending college, getting married, and starting families. We've made amazing progress, but until a cure is found for all people with CF, we will not stop. Help us add tomorrows. Visit cff.org today.
Is there a danger hiding in your home? Unused opioid medicines could harm your family. Find your unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups and learn how to dispose of them safely at fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Thomas Tellerino with your Tuesday night sports report. Before we get into the sports updates, some devastating news came to us early this morning. Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs is to be charged with a DUI, killing one person in an opposing vehicle. This comes after the deadly vehicle crash happened in Las Vegas, leaving one woman dead. Ruggs and his female passenger were also injured. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department says Ruggs was driving a Chevrolet Corvette a little before 3:30 a.m. when he crashed into the rear of a Toyota RAV4 on a busy thoroughfare in the residential area several miles west of the Las Vegas Strip. Investigators are still looking into the crash, and more info is to be said in the following days. The Oswego men's soccer team will travel to SUNY New Paltz tomorrow afternoon for their SUNYX semifinal matchup. The Lakers look to build off their shootout win against Oneonta last Saturday and make a run for their second SUNYX championship in school history. The last time these two teams faced off, New Paltz was able to walk away with a 2-1 victory on the Lakers' turf earlier in the month. Oswego looks to return the favor and punch their ticket to the finals tomorrow. The winner of this matchup will take on either Buffalo State or SUNY Cortland Saturday in the SUNYX championship. The World Series starts back up tonight with the Astros hosting the Braves for Game 3 in Houston. Last time out, the Astros narrowed the series deficit to 3-2 and now look to tie it up and force a Game 7 tomorrow night. As for the Atlanta Braves, they look to close it out tonight and win their 4th World Series of all time. The Astros will give the nod to Luis Garcia, while the Braves will start the night out with Max Fried on the mound. The score is currently 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th with the Braves up. If Houston wins tonight, Game 7 will be tomorrow night at 8:05. The New York Knicks lost their second game of the season last night as they fell to the Toronto Raptors at home with a final score of 113-104. The Knicks led early in this one, but after a third-quarter surge, the Raptors were able to take the lead and hold on to it for most of the second half. This was not just an everyday game, though. For both teams, they celebrated the 75th anniversary of when they first faced off 75 years ago. The Knicks are now 5-2 on the season, and they are still top 3 of the Eastern Conference, though. New York travels to Indiana Wednesday night for their next game. Last night, we saw the Giants and Chiefs face off, and Chiefs running back, Nottingham alumni Derek Gore is going to get this one and score his first career touchdown on the 3-yard run into the end zone. Congratulations to the Syracuse native. And then all the way with 4th we go. Giants in the red zone, and Daniel Jones throws a dime to Evan Ingram for his second touchdown on the night. Not only was this Ingram's first catch of the night, but it was also his first touchdown connection between the three-year teammates this season. Later on in the fourth, and Harrison Buckner drills a 36-yard attempt to make it a 17-17 game. No, that's not the same highlight. Harrison Buckner does it again, makes it a 20-17 game, MVP for the Chiefs here tonight. And then how are the Giants going to react? Daniel Jones drops back with 4th and 15, and he's going to get sacked by Frank Jones, and the Chiefs defense is going to step up on this one. Chiefs defense finally comes through for him in the end of the game, and they are now in 3rd place in the West with a 4-4 record. As for the Giants, their cold streak continues as their season falls to 2-6 on the year, and they sit in last place in the NFC East. The Giants will host the Chiefs' divisional rivals, the Raiders, next week, while the Chiefs next week will face the Packers at home.
Thanks, Thomas. You know, it's always exciting watching the World Series, but what can we expect in local sports?
So this weekend, we're going to have both the men's hockey team and the women's hockey team face off against in two games.
Wow, thanks so much for that. And, you know, with the weather picking up, we're seeing a lot of snow, or so they say. What do you have to say about that?
So we're probably not going to see that much snow here in Oswego. We'll probably see more close to an inch on Tug Hill. We'll definitely if we get any snow, it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday into a little bit Friday morning. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday should be at least mostly sunny.
Thanks so much. And as of right now, the polls were closed about 26 minutes ago for the election. So as we know, we heard a little bit about what that's been like right now in New Jersey. In Boston, we're seeing no results yet. They're expected to count those ballots at 10. In New Jersey, our Democratic governor is in the lead. So far, so good. We'll find out more by 10 o'clock. In Oswego, nothing has been posted yet, but we'll see what happens there. What about Minneapolis with the Police Accountability Board? I know they're going to start talking a little bit about that after the George Floyd death. What do you have to say about that, Lane?
I think it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had, and hopefully there's going to be some real progress that made from it. But going back to the elections, you know, I think it's a real shame that not as many people come out to these local elections, because, you know, those are going to be the people that affect more of your day-to-day life, and again, they are politicians from your area.
Right, and you know, like I said, we did speak to that one poll worker at Laker Hall who did say they only saw one guy for the whole night. So hopefully we'll see more people out in the voter stands. But you know what? That's our report for tonight. Thank you so much for watching.
Have a great night.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.